Our story begins in the early 2000s when Somalia found itself in a state of anarchy. The once bustling nation was left in shambles, its government dissolved, leaving its coastlines unmonitored and vulnerable. This lawlessness created the perfect breeding ground for piracy to flourish. The Somali coast transformed into a playground for pirates who, armed with high-speed boats and advanced weaponry, began to pose a major threat to the international shipping lanes that crisscrossed the waters off the Somali coast. But what drove these men to such drastic measures? The answer lies in the desperation and despair that gripped the nation. Many of the pirates were once local fishermen, their livelihoods destroyed by the unregulated and illegal fishing carried out by foreign vessels in Somalia's territorial waters. Toxic waste dumping further devastated the marine life, leaving the once thriving fishing industry in ruins. With their traditional means of earning a living gone and with unemployment rates skyrocketing, these fishermen found themselves cornered. Poverty was widespread and opportunities for legitimate work were scarce. In their desperation, they turned to piracy, seeing it as the only way to put food on the table for their families. The pirates' modus operandi was simple yet effective. They would approach large, slow-moving cargo vessels in their nimble speedboats, board them swiftly and take the crew hostage. The pirates would then demand a hefty ransom in exchange for the safe return of the ship and its crew. This method proved to be lucrative, and soon piracy off the Somali coast became a booming, albeit illegal, industry. The human cost of piracy was immense. This statement reverberates with the chilling echoes of the countless lives that were disrupted and forever altered by the piracy crisis off the coast of Somalia. For every vessel that was hijacked, there were individuals, fathers, sons, brothers, who were held captive in brutal conditions. These seafarers, who had set sail with hopes of adventure and dreams of safe returns, were instead faced with the grim reality of piracy. The conditions they endured were unimaginable. Picture being confined in a cramped, dimly lit space with the constant fear of violence. Imagine the deafening silence broken only by the pirates' harsh commands. The ceaseless rolling of the sea and the hushed whispers of fellow hostages praying for rescue. But the ripple effects of this crisis extended far beyond the captive vessels. Each hostage's ordeal was mirrored by the anguish of their families back home. For years, these families lived in a state of agonizing uncertainty, their lives punctuated by fleeting phone calls and scarce updates. Each day brought with it a glimmer of hope for their loved one's safe return, and each night a gut-wrenching fear of the unknown. Yet in the face of this crisis, the world was not silent. As the toll of piracy grew, so too did the global outcry. Nations around the world rallied, recognizing that the fight against piracy was a shared responsibility. International naval task forces were deployed to the pirate-infested waters, their mission to safeguard the vulnerable shipping lanes and free the captives. Hostage rescue operations became more frequent, each successful mission a beacon of hope in the gloomy expanse of the sea. But these actions, while vital, were reactive measures. They were the world's response to a crisis already in full swing. The root causes of piracy, poverty, unemployment and lawlessness still needed to be addressed. But this global response was only the beginning. The real task lay in preventing piracy from re-emerging, and this would require a comprehensive and sustained effort. Somalia's long-term recovery depended on more than just military intervention. A comprehensive approach was necessary, one that encompassed investment in education, job creation, and infrastructure development. The goal was to create an environment that offered opportunities for growth and prosperity far removed from the perilous life of piracy. Education was key. By providing quality schooling, the aim was to equip the youth of Somalia with the skills and knowledge they needed to build a better future. Job creation initiatives were launched, opening up avenues for gainful employment and offering an alternative to the lawless life at sea. Infrastructure development projects, such as the construction of roads, ports and hospitals, were designed to revitalize the economy and improve the quality of life. In an inspiring turn of events, some former pirates became part of the solution. They traded their guns for tools and textbooks, working on construction sites and attending vocational training programs. Many recognized that piracy was a dead-end road, and they transitioned into legitimate careers, contributing positively to their communities. Today, the situation in Somalia has improved significantly. Piracy, once a rampant menace, has seen a dramatic decline. The coastal towns, formerly the strongholds of these maritime marauders, are now alive with the hustle and bustle of legitimate trade. Ships bearing goods not fear dock in the ports, marking the resurgence of a vibrant economy, yet the sea does not forget its past so easily. The spectre of piracy still looms on the horizon, a reminder of the challenges that lie ahead. To fortify the progress made, Somalia must continue to sail forward. It needs sustained support in its quest to rebuild robust institutions, the cornerstones of a stable society. Economic growth must be fostered, offering opportunities for all, especially the youth. And the nation's maritime security capabilities must be strengthened, ensuring safe passage for the vessels that venture into its waters. To ensure lasting stability, Somalia needs continued support in rebuilding its institutions, fostering economic growth, and strengthening its maritime security capabilities. In conclusion, the story of piracy in Somalia is one of desperation, resilience, and international cooperation. We've journeyed through the rise of piracy, driven by lawlessness, desperation, and economic hardship. We've seen the devastating human cost, with countless lives disrupted and lost to this maritime menace. But we've also seen the power of unity and collective action. Global forces collaborated to protect vital sea routes, while efforts on land focused on rebuilding a nation torn apart by anarchy. Investment in education, job creation, and infrastructure offered an alternative future for Somalia's youth, pulling them away from the path of piracy. Today, Somalia stands as a testament to the transformative power of international cooperation. But the journey is far from over. The threat of piracy still casts a shadow, reminding us of the need for continued support and vigilance. It's a story that shows that even in the darkest of times, positive change is possible when we work together toward a common goal.